People in high school, especially you niggas, y'all were demons and bullies. And no, I don't care that I'm 26 this year. I'm never getting over it. Some of my biggest haters in this life have been men. Not only have they been men, shame on you niggas, they've been black men. And I know that they were immature, especially back in high school. It takes a while for men to grow up, but I don't care. The scars that were left were legitimate. They were real. And you know, I currently look good, right? I'm a pretty girl. I grew into my face. I grew into my looks. I know that. But in high school, I was damn near white. I was white and depressed and sad because I didn't know where I was going in life. I did not know where I wanted to be. And amongst other things, I was just sad. So I didn't go to school looking the best all the time. I did feel like my body wasn't enough. So I went to school wearing big oversized t-shirts some days when I could have really been putting it on. I went to school with 2-inch leave out because I wore so much weave back then that I fried my hair to a crisp trying to get a bust down middle part, knowing I had 4C hair. My leave out was like 2 inches long, y'all. And I was just giving people ammunition to bully me in general. But okay, so back in high school, boom, it's 2017. I'm 18 years old. I'm 16 in the 2010s in high school, going to school. Mind you, I went to a white middle school. My middle school was white and brown. The high school I went to was full of immigrants and black people. So it was new. It wasn't new because I'm black and I grew up around immigrants, but it was a new educational environment, okay? I wasn't exactly used to it. The beauty standard for black women in the white community, as many of you guys know, is not what it is in the black community. You can be, you know, you can have a bust down, you can wear, you know, your face beat, you can be tall and thick. I'm not thick, but you can be tall and have weight on you in the black community. In the white community, it's very skinny, it's very prim, very proper. It's Jennifer Aniston, it's no lips, it's mixed at the very most, okay? So I was entering a whole new world of social, you know, currency and economics, right? So I get to this high school. I'm stunned because there's more black people at school than I've ever been around. And I find myself in the midst of the niggas. I find myself in the midst of the black people as one usually does. They invited me into their space because at one point I was eating with my Indian friends that I knew from middle school. I was eating with my Indian friends and we weren't even really friends. They were just nice and I had nowhere else to sit until there was 2 awesome black women who invited me to sit next to them. Little did I know they were inviting me to sit next to them so they could bully my ass too. But that's besides the point. I integrate with the black people, right? And I found out very quickly that this was a bad idea. Roasting was like the top 3 things to do in high school, bro. It didn't matter what it was. They were going to talk about you and laugh just because they felt like laughing. And baby, I experienced that in high school. I remember I turned around with my back like this because I was talking to somebody else from the table across from me and they started making fun of me because my back was ashy. Mind you, that's embarrassing. My back was ashy. Why was my back ashy? I don't know. But did they have to point it out? Did they have to point it out and make fun of me for it? No. Anyways, there's this guy who I went to high school with who was the person I was talking to at the time. And he might as well have been talking to the entire school. He had 10 girlfriends. But he had this one main girl who was very beautiful. Like, I can say that now. She was very good looking. She was light skinned. And I was basically the exact opposite of her. She was light skinned, thick, and short. I was tall, darker skinned, and black. And baby, that man was so like embarrassed almost to have me as a side chick. At least that's what it seemed like. I was probably, if I were to rank his side pieces, it would go the Mexican looking ones, me, and then maybe like there was one more person or so below me, but I was a bottom tier side chick. He bragged about all the women that he was with to his friends. He even bragged to me, Mumu self. He even bragged to me sometimes about all the women he was friends with all the women he was in relationships with because we were friends before. Yo, I apparently did not meet the beauty standard to be a side chick back then. I wasn't, light skinned with curly hair. I had 4C hair, and I wasn't the best dressed. I wasn't the most popular or whatever. So this guy would be ashamed of me. He would hide me on my birthday. He'd even want to tell me happy birthday in front of people on my birthday, y'all. He put me to shame, which is crazy because in today's world, the social currency is money. If you have money, high schoolers right now are balling. You are nobody. If you don't got no Twitch, you got no YouTube. If you don't have any of that, then you're nobody. But back then, we didn't have nothing but Instagram and YouTube, and people in our school didn't really do stuff like that. So the social currency was your looks, not as much money you have. Which, if I could go back to school, on God, I would finish everybody. Because it wasn't until that I was in my 20s, late into college. I had some sprinkles of it throughout high school, but it wasn't until I was like 22 that I realized that other people grew up broke. I did not know. And this is crazy coming from a minority, isn't it? I did not know that we were considered rich to poor people in this country. We were considered upper middle class to people in this country. And that's crazy to me because I'm not sure why I'll just say my parents, my dad. I'm not sure why that wasn't made clear to us. I don't know if it's because he wanted us to be a little bit more humble, or he wanted us to focus on our education and not get caught up in materialistic things. But I knew that if I ever wanted anything, I could just ask my parents for it. They would give it to me, no problem. But I didn't know if I needed a small loan of $30,000 if I really wanted to do something, then I could do that. I could have been like a mini Donald Trump asking my parents for a small loan of $1 million. Maybe not 1 million, but y'all get what I'm saying. With that knowledge in mind, there's no way that I shouldn't have been like Jada Wada in high school. There's no way. Mind you, my parents hated the way I dressed. They used to hate, even until recently, they were like, I hate when you wear big t-shirts. I hate when your hair, your nails are. My parents will criticize me for how I look whole time. They're not giving me the bread to fund it. And I'm pissed off because it brings me back to that time in high school where used to make fun of me for how I looked, that I wasn't up to par. I wasn't even up to par enough to be a good side chick, you feel me? I could have had the bust downs. I could have had the latest fashions. I could have had any shoes. And you know what's funny is people who are around me, like people who have been to my house and spent time with me during that time, they clocked that I was rich. And I didn't even know that I was rich. But they clocked it. They saw the house that we lived in. They saw the car I drove. For my 16th birthday, I got a Lexus. Cool, nice little car. My sister, I think back then she got a Mercedes. My dad, I would drive my dad's cars to school. I would pull up in Mercedes Benzes to school, you feel me? That's regular to me. That's a regular life. But to them, they were low-key peeping it like, oh, like this girl must got it. Cause you don't like, they don't have Mercedes. They can't just pull up to school in Mercedes, right? So I feel like certain people use that as ammunition to bring me down. I feel like it was low-key like a conspiracy. I feel like it was a conspiracy. Nobody wanted me to know that I could have been that girl, especially some of the people I was dealing with, because it would have made me look better than them. I remember one time, just to prove that I could do what I want. It was very remedial of me. I would go to Shoe Palace in high school and buy new shoes every week just so people could comment on them and just so I could get attention. I was literally going to Shoe Palace to buy like New Balances and like Adidas shoes, which granted a lot of people can afford, but the way that like my life is set up, I should have been going to get like freaking Louis Vuittons and be dramatic as hell and wore them to school or something. I should have had the latest Gucci Chanel sneakers. But here I was like a dummy with my fried 2-inch leave out, going to Shoe Palace to buy freaking $50 shoes. Y'all, I should have gave more. I'm sorry, my kids are gonna have to give. I'm 1000% using my kids to relive my past. Like, I'm so sorry. All right, so boom, when I found out I was rich was like in college. People were struggling in college and I have never struggled. I have never struggled for anything. I've always had the mindset. At the same time, I've always had the mindset, and I think this also blocked me from knowing how much wealth we had, because I've always had the mindset that my parents' money is not my money. I want to be able to get money on my own. I want to be a boss. Done. I should have been leeching off my parents way more than I have been. If your parents have money, don't feel bad. Don't do that. Okay? Do like the white people do. But anyways, back to what I was saying. I was like, I want to get my own money. I don't want to rely on my parents. So I never asked for all the things that I wanted. I never, my dad used to buy some of my hair, but a lot of times I would just save up money to buy my own hair. I never asked him to take me on super extravagant shopping sprees and whatnot. But in college, people were struggling for basic necessities. Couldn't buy groceries, couldn't buy gas, couldn't buy this, that, the other. And me too, I was like, I don't have money for groceries. Whole time I actually did have it, because I was literally just a phone call away from having it. But it was in college where somebody was like doing backflips and jumping through hurdles and begging their parents to send them like $100, $200, $300. I was like, damn, y'all. I was like, $100. Your parents can't send you $100. And it wasn't even from a judgmental standpoint. It just kind of made me sit back and be like, dang, I could just ask my dad for $100 right now. That type of stuff. When I was little, people would come to my house and be like, dang, your house is big. And I used to be like, thank you, because obviously we weren't always like, but we've elevated classes. So when people used to say, dang, my house is big, I literally just thought that was in comparison to their houses. If they lived in an apartment and things like that, I didn't think they actually meant my house was big, if that made any sense. And these people in high school, y'all, like, it took me till I was like 15, and I know that I'm slow and privileged. I don't care. Save your political comments for yourself. Waka. But it wasn't until like I was 15 that I realized that people's parents actually got up and clocked into a job. They clocked into work and had like a boss. For context, both of my parents are small business owners, entrepreneurs. They're their own bosses. They create their own schedules essentially, and they work very hard, and they don't have a boss. And it wasn't until I saw my friend in high school whose dad was like a post mail carrier or whatever, something like that, and he went to work. And those are the same people. I would sleep over at my friend's house. No, it's no shade. It's no shade now. But I remember I would be at her house with the boy I was talking to. And they would try to make fun of me. Like, oh, like your dad. Like, they would just try and say negative things about my family and the fact that we had money. I remember my prom dress cost $500 and folks would try. Sorry, let me stop. I remember my prom dress cost $500. And people would try and make fun of it, saying, oh, it's not even all that. Why did you spend $500? Whole time, they were jealous. I have a habit of trying to help out broke niggas. I have a bad habit. I have a bad habit that I need to be delivered from. One of my favorite things to do is to help out broke niggas. I just feel like, first of all, I have a giving heart. And I just feel like if you need help, why would I not, like, think about it. Like, if you had $100 and somebody thought $100 was a big deal that you really cared about, why would you not help them? But that's gotten me into trouble so much. Y'all know how y'all hate, y'all, like, when y'all see powerful women who, like, are with people who don't elevate them. I fear that is, if I'm not careful, I fear that is going to be me. Because that is the type of spirit that I have. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because it's just like, and there was one time, as a matter of fact, I'm going to tell the story and I hope it puts you to shame. One time, a guy I was talking to in high school, he felt that I had money, so the nigga took my card, right? And like I said, I didn't do too much when it came to money, even though I could have. He took my card. He went to Sam's Club. He said he's just going to get himself a pizza. He bought a pizza. He bought a froyo. And he bought himself a drink. And had the nerve to come back, hand it to me, and get mad when I called him out for it. I was bragging on the internet the other day about being a trick. Because realistically, if a man is good to you, the first thing I want to do personally is spend. The first thing I want to do personally is elevate your life. Like, that is so me. And I hate that for me because I just, like, I'm so into, I'll be honest, the power couple type thing. I want to be a boss. I want my man to be a boss. And I know everybody's socioeconomic status is different. So if all you need is some coin, then I will give that to you, boo. I don't mind. Like, I don't mind. But that is how you get played, ladies. Because I realized, I looked back at my dating history, even people that I've just been on dates with. My entire dating history is filled with wannabe musicians, rappers, song singers, producers. Every nigga that I've talked to wants to be a musician. Did I do something wrong? What does that say about me? And regardless, I stand behind it. Like, I know I'm criticizing it right now, but I stand behind it because one thing about me is I don't want to live an ordinary life. I don't want my person to live an ordinary life either. I really, like, 9 to 5 men don't, like, they don't tend to talk to me. It's always the people who want to be musicians. I will help your music career. This is what you need. You need $5,000. I'll give that to you. I believe in you. And this is why I get played every single time. Not every guy that I've talked to has been bad. Some people have been super sweethearts, and I would probably still talk to a musician, and I probably am right now. There was this other guy who was literally in a third world country that I was talking to, who my dad was gonna send me some money. No, he offered to buy me some Gucci slippers. Like, that's just how my dad is. He was like, do you want these Gucci slippers? Like, the other day he was like, do you want a new car? Like, do you want a Lexus? I was like, not really. This was back when I was talking to this guy, and he overheard my dad on the phone offering me some Gucci slippers. I was like, I don't really care about Gucci slippers because that's how I am. I don't want the Gucci slippers. This nigga was talking about take the money and let's flip it. Let's go to the store and let's spend it on other stuff. Let's take the money and flip it. Let's take the money and try and figure out. That's the type of man that I talk to. You want me to lie to my dad and take the money and say that I'm gonna spend it on something important the whole time I'm splitting it with a nigga? That's crazy. That's scary. That's a turnoff. I can't, when people say, would you talk to a man with money? Without money, this is why. Some of you act very, very, very stupid. Nigga can't get $600 on his own, but he wants me to take the money and flip it and let him flip it. How are you gonna flip it? How are you gonna flip it? I know you're watching this from a secret account. How are you gonna flip the money? I wanna know. I don't think that, I don't know. I'm never gonna stop talking to creative people. I think there's a reason why that has been my rap sheet. I think I just want to start talking to creative people who aren't also stupid. And I feel like noticing that your partner isn't smart is probably, it's like, it's the same thing as noticing who you're talking to is kind of ugly. It's like you die a little bit inside. And it's like, you think about what your future could be. And I think about my kids a lot. I don't want my kids to be ashamed of who I picked. And I don't want them to be ashamed of me because they're ashamed of who I picked. Because if I pick that person, that must also mean that I'm an idiot. And I will continue to act like I don't have money, that I don't have a source of income. Right now, I'm actually too old to be leeching off my parents, so unfortunately that time has passed. So if you think I miss money right now, I'm not. Even though I just became, I just became big RN. I just finished nursing school, which y'all keep saying big RN, big RN, big RN. Nurses are lying. They're not rich. Like, I swear to you, for first year, I promise you they're not rich. I'm just gonna throw out cat out the bag. They're not rich. Nurses don't make that much money. People are sponsoring them or they're just not good with money. Period. People really hate to see you do better than them. I didn't know that was a real thing until I realized that I had money. Men, women, adults, everybody wants to see you thrive until it means that you are going to do better than them. And that's sick. All the people that made fun of me in high school, I could on y'all. I could have. But because I don't place my value in materials, because I'm used to it, because I don't place it in like superficial things, I care a lot about how I am, how happy I am on the inside. And if I don't care about having designer, if I don't care about having the latest this, that, the other, then I'm not going to get it. Because I don't care about that. I have suffered in my life. I have been talked about. People said I didn't look good enough. People are still saying I don't look good enough. Now, when people like, for example, Kylie Jenner, decide to get work done and do this and that, the other, and y'all criticize her, I understand Kylie Jenner's point of view now. Y'all will criticize and break down somebody so bad to where they alter their appearance. And when they finally give you what you've been asking for, y'all will still get mad. And I think at the root of it, it is jealousy. And it is because they don't want you to be better than them. Do you, and hang around people who understand, who are at your level. Don't let anybody change your heart. I was kind of like joking throughout this video, but like I'm being very serious. Like, I'm really not mad at anybody I was, associated with in high school. Like, it's really just something that came to my mind and I decided to talk about it. But yeah, okay. Thank you guys for being patient for dropping this video, and I want to make more videos, so please subscribe to my channel. Bye.